Oh gosh, what is going on here? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What the fuck?
I can see you.
I can't see you. Can you see me?
No,
What the hell is this? What's going on?
I don't know.
What the? Oh my! Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. I'm clicking the wrong things,
I
man. I'm
was
moving
like,
like Tottenham's
what?
defense, but we're here, man. We're here.
Don't ask
Technical
me.
difficulties. We're here, man. Jess, we won the North London Derby. Thursdays, I'm always having the pleasure of speaking Arsenal with Jess. Go subscribe to our platform. It's in the title. How you doing?
I
Retake
am,
everything.
huh?
I've just tried my best to style it and retake everything. But yeah, big up the chat.
Oh, yeah, no. I've enjoyed all the content after the fact. I'm, after a performance like Wolves, you need a pick me up, and the North London Derby was definitely that. But like your title says, Chelsea is definitely the real test. So we'll see where we're at after, Sunday's game. Is it Sunday?
Yeah, it's Sunday. It is
Yeah.
Sunday. Same time as the Spurs game. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, a week removed. You touched on it, yeah. For me, like, before we get into the North London derby, obviously, for me, I thought the title was over, and I'm still somewhat pessimistic after the Wolves game. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie. As much as I try and be logical, as an Arsenal fan, when we lose, it's the worst thing in the world. We win, I'm amazed. Has winning the North London derby installed any belief in you again? Has it allowed the water under the bridge with Wolves? Where's your headspace at now?
I'm still very like I'm it's hard with this team because yes, I want to fully be like, yeah, we're back. Like it was over and now we're back again kind of thing, but
Mm.
I can't overlook where Spurs are, how bad they are, and how no other team is going to play us the way that they played us. So without they just need to win these next 10 games. It's really that simple. If they win these next 10 games or whatever and win the league, then the belief is there. But I've kind of always sat on the side of I don't ever begrudge anybody for kind of not believing because sometimes seeing is believing. And when you've not done it a couple of times, it's like, how can you even get on to anybody about feeling like it's over, So where I am super happy about the performance and winning the North London Derby, it almost to me is separate from the title race. It's like we won the North London Derby, but we still put ourselves in a really difficult position. We genuinely cannot drop points. Like City have a game in hand. You assume they're going to win that 2 points,
No
so
faith in Leeds doing us a favor this week. They got Leeds at
nobody,
Ellen Road. It
nobody's going
is
to do
one
us
of
a
them grounds.
favor. I think we've gotten a lot of favors this season already.
100%.
For a fan base that always acts like everyone's so against us, we got quite a few favors and threw them away. We should be writing our name on the trophy at this point. So yeah, it's one game at a time at this stage. Nothing has really changed. I'm just happy to see that they at least didn't wallow in the Wolves performance, but it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with this group. So you just never really know. I don't know. How do you feel?
It's a weird one, man, because I do think there's a bit of a belief, but I still think City are in the driving seat. I know that doesn't make sense to some people listening because obviously we are still top. City do have a game in hand. I know it's not the same City team, but the fact that it isn't the same City team, but they're still fighting for a league. It makes me look at it. I'm with what you just said there. It's as simple as that. Win the 10 games. Obviously, I can't predict the future, but just win the 10 games, you've won the league. I think we're gonna drop points, they're gonna drop points. In terms of the North London Derby, it's a weird one, man, because both teams needed to win. Obviously, we want to win the league, they want to stay in the division. I know they're not bottom of the league, just but in terms of form or just what I'm seeing, I actually am saying I think they're the worst team actually in the league at this moment. And I know it was billed as the biggest North London derby in a hot minute. I can't say I can remove myself from the fact that it's a North London derby, but I did. It was almost, I just want my 3 points, man. Yeah, I want bragging rights. I want to run banter. We know they made a whole song and dance about it. Their announcer was saying they're calm and we're nervous. Obviously, Eze did what he needed to do. But I knew my boys were going to win it. I said it on TalkSport. I said, I kind of know my boys. You can be up for a North London derby. It's the games on paper. And while I know you can't win them all, it's the Wolves away going into it, let alone being 2 goals up. they're the kind of spanners in the works. And I said before the North London derby, and we'll get on to Chelsea. I'm more nervous for Chelsea. Beyond the fact that they're better than Spurs, I'm a bit more nervous about Chelsea. I'm definitely nervous about Brighton away. But whether I'm nervous or optimistic, we got to get things done, man. I would say beyond the obvious, the thing that I'm impressed the most about with the North London derby is David Raya coming for some criticism. Not that he was tested, but he stood up tall in Nketiah game. And I feel it was the first time from start to finish I believed in my attackers. I know Saka got an assist, didn't score, but he was good. Obviously, Gyokeres and Eze are probably the difference makers. Our boy Odegaard came off the bench and did his thing. You know, even though Martinelli never got an assist or anything of such, he's come off the bench and helped him, and Nketiah have won the ball for the last goal. So, and I want my attackers. We spoke about this actually in the build-up to it. This is now where I want the attackers to go through a purple patch or an extended run of form and carry the team in the same way the defense has done, man. So that's my just, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think that whatever I think about Spurs, I'm just hoping that they take the positivity from this and kind of run with it. You know, it's like a little bounce for them. I think they need it. The attackers did look good in this game. And one thing that stood out for me more than anything was that even when Declan Rice makes the mistake, they just continue to attack, which is something that we don't usually see from this team. We concede, and then for the rest of the game, we're just like,
Gotta go back into a shell.
Yeah, and it seemed like even if, like, let's say Tottenham had scored the second goal, that we would have still scored another because we were just going to keep attacking. Why we can't apply that on a regular basis, I don't know. Is it the opponent that allowed us the space and the time and all that kind of stuff?
A bit of healthy arrogance probably played a part as well.
Yeah, so how can we utilize the positives of this game and apply it to what will be a much more difficult test, albeit at home, but it's going to be against a team that we're their cup final. We're their cup final. Like, they don't care about beating anyone else but us. They need to eventually beat us.
And my fear,
yeah, they haven't beat us since like 2019. And so I would hate for this to be the time that we end up dropping points to them. So, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on this every single game, but on this Chelsea game in particular, because you just know that they're going to be up for it. They're scrapping for their lives as well. They need to make it into Champions League. It's not looking secure. So, yeah, it's going to be a really tough game. And you can't follow up a North London derby with a half-assed performance against Chelsea.
It doesn't mean much if you go win the North London derby. Not that beating Spurs is anything to scream and shout about, but again, purely because we want to win a title, we need to go on a run of form. I'd also say, to go back to your question about what you said about how I feel about the game, I liked Arteta's approach beyond the obvious. Maybe there was that healthy arrogance because we're a class above them. As you alluded to, we made a mistake and we kind of kept it moving. Nketiah and Timber. Obviously, Timber got an assist, and I just think Nketiah was great. But it just felt like you're playing as traditional fullbacks. Everyone's just playing their roles. We've got the framework, and there's a bit of freedom. So when you got your attackers finding each other and relishing it, you know, when you got your fullbacks doing what they're doing, like, I'm always gonna laugh. Obviously, big up Mascara as well for his cameo as well. So,
but it was simplified, was it not? It felt just like our game was simplified, but it's not like we don't see that in cup competitions. We see that in the Champions League. So how do we apply that on a normal basis? Because our game does feel kind of convoluted at times. Like, we need to make scoring goals brain surgery at times, and I'm not sure why that is.
Defending the lead, scoring and keeping up that momentum and that pressure. And like you said, I've seen it in the Champions League. You know, at this point, the Champions League run has been faultless. I feel I saw it against Newcastle in its whole totality of the 90 minutes. I'll give the boys and the gaffer that. I saw it against Spurs, as you alluded to. If I'm honest with you, beyond that, and I'm probably scratching, I know we've beat Burnley and we've battered Burnley and Leeds away. If I'm honest, probably the second half against City, purely because they went into their shell. They tried to pack up shop and kind of keep it moving. But we were losing at that point. Like, we were chasing the game. We had nothing to kind of lose. So I do kind of have to not rate that. Of course, there's times where you have to box smart. You might be a goal up and you have to be a bit conservative. But there's many ways to kind of see out a lead. And I think we've got that, apart from what you're alluding to and what we saw against Spurs, and maintain the pressure, just keep going, keep putting the balls in the back of the net. You know, again, I think people are going to mainly the media, they're overrating Spurs because Spurs capitalized, quote unquote, on 2 mistakes. One goal obviously was from Declan Rice. VAR did us a kind of favor. Other than that, we were just better than them. I have to ask you the obvious, yeah. Was it a foul? Because I personally think that foul on Gabriel Magalhaes got no place in the game. It's very dangerous. I think that's the worst tackle I've seen in many a year, Jess, man. Of course, I'm shameless.
I mean, I think that it's a soft foul. And it's one of those where if it goes against you, we're looking at Gabriel like, why would you do that? But, you know, it
didn't work for him against Newcastle away.
Yeah, I mean, twice. He's done that twice against Newcastle. I think people forget that he did it earlier this season and a couple of years ago where
but that one, he was actually pushed. I'm not going to cap.
Yeah,
so that's why I don't blame him for play acting now.
He did. I think what makes it worse for him is the like the drama, the cinema attached to it makes it look like he's trying to cheat his way into something. And I think just when maybe he's overshot it and he's not in the right position to clear it, his fail safe is, well, back into the player, they put their hands on me, I fall down, because we see him do that outside of the box all the time. So, you know,
a lot of players in the league do it.
Yeah, it's a soft one, but at the same time, it's like, you know, by touching him at all, you make the referee have to make a decision.
You've given the ref a decision to make. Who knows? Exactly. If you legitimately try win it, you might actually win it. And, you know, again, Gabriel will be the fool guy. But for me, that was one of the only times we've kind of switched off. I think they played the ball in behind for Conor Gallagher. Hincapié, it's not, I know it's come from his role, but it's his side of the pitch, but it's actually not his fault. I think it's actually Trossard. You've not followed your runner. Ball's come into the box. It is a soft one. For me, I don't really like us giving the referee a decision to make because, as you alluded to, it's not worked for us twice against Newcastle. One is actually fouled. And yet, well, Sunday it didn't. Now, just because it's soft doesn't mean it's not a foul. Of course, we all know. We all know we've been watching the game. It is a soft one. The game's kind of going into a weird place. But sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to live clean. We all see players acting, buying fouls and things. And people used to call us naive. It's like they kind of hate us now because we're half decent at it. But everything works for us, man. We have to kind of highlight some individuals. Before we talk about like the main kind of talking points, yeah? What did you make of Mascara at right back in his cameo? And what did you make of Hincapié's performance?
Like beyond the obvious goal scorers, I feel like their performances were the most stand out because, well, from Mascara's standpoint, it's like if you're going to play a more defensive minded right back and Timber's struggling, you know, for his life, why not play Mascara there? And it almost made me like, why haven't you done that more? Because Mascara has been available for a minute now, and we haven't really seen him that much. Feels like Arteta has to be like back against the wall to use some of his squad options that
White weren't in the squad for the North London derby, or he might have played, and we're not talking about this.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Mascara did really well. And I think as a rule of thumb, outside of Ben White and Calafiori, our fullback options are much better when they play like regular fullbacks, and their jobs are to recover the ball and give it to the more creative players. It was nice.
Most chances in the first half, which is mad.
Yeah, I prefer to see them less involved, like on the first line. You know, a lot of times they're on the first line, tucked in between like the center back and the fullback, and you see them get into these weird positions where they don't look the best. But I thought Hincapié was making nice passes into like the left half space, which you usually would not see him making those passes because he's in positions to receive those passes in games, you know. So I just think players playing in positions that suit them helps a lot. And Mascara, Hincapié, and Timber are ball recovery monsters. They're good at winning the ball off of players and then just give it to the better players. Like it's not hard.
Even people who are paid to score and assist and whatnot, and let defenders defend to a degree.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I think Hincapié is a player that's been in good form since before the Man United game. It's just we weren't playing well, so his performances didn't really stand out. But he looks really good, and he's one of the few players that we can really, you know, pull on and like think, you know, and lean on in terms of knowing how to win. he's won a league title before, in a team that wasn't meant to win. So he doesn't look shook like some of the other players
That
do
man
at
are South
times.
American.
Yeah, so I rate him very highly. I think we're in a good position with him, being fit and playing there. I know some people would rather see more attack-minded fullbacks, but if they play their role and we just give the ball to the creative players and the striker, then we won't be so desperate for our fullbacks to be something that they don't need to be. And if I'm honest, we're not going to be able to rely upon White or Calafiori. Neither one of them can maintain a level of fitness. So we're probably going to see the more traditional defensive-minded fullbacks, as long as Arteta plays them in a way where they're not inverting and trying to get into the first line and getting it, I think we're in a much better position. He was really, really good. And so was Mascara. Mascara was fire. Mascara to me is, our
13 million. Ridiculous.
best signing. Like he just does what he needs to do. He's the guy.
Does his
I
job
like
and
it.
goes home. And
Yeah.
he's unlucky that obviously if everybody's fit, you've got Timber at right back, you've got Saliba and Gabriel in front of you at centre half. Not to say that one day maybe he could challenge them for a place, but that's what you're gonna face 9 times out of 10. Obviously it's a squad game. You need a lot of the squad. The only time I think Mascara's, I wouldn't even say let himself down because obviously mistakes happen. Is obviously when he got hooked at Newcastle away, but we've played him in some big games like Bayern Munich or 9 times out of 10 some hostile environments where you're playing at. You weren't even in the starting lineup for Anfield, but you're in and we did lose. You weren't a talking point. You've come in, fair enough. Spurs are shit, but it's a North London derby. You played quite well against Bayern, and this is what we need, especially in this day and age here where people are overpriced. 30 million from him. Big up Berto. How many times have I got to say it? I do want to ask you a question. Yeah, is Hincapié, is that his spot to lose? Because I know Calafiori was great this season. He got injured, but do you think that's his spot to lose? And then obviously on the right hand side, you've got Timber. You do have the luxury of Mascara. Do you think Ben White's days at the club are numbered?
I don't know. I feel like it's a weird one because when we're in the position that we're in right now, I feel like it's difficult to really, because I feel like we're going to need everybody until the end of the season.
Same.
Beyond this season, we'll see where we're at. We're still going to need a big squad. I think people think we're going to sell all these players and do another rebuild. We're probably
not how life works, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm hoping that Ben White can find his fitness because I do think he will be useful for us. He offers something that the other fullbacks don't. So, yeah, but in terms of Hincapié and this being his spot, yeah, I think for now it definitely is his spot. I think he's in a run of form that you can't drop him right now. Why would you? And Calafiori's not ready to go, and we don't really know what's going on with Miles in terms of like where Arteta's, does Arteta feel like he can trust him? But I still feel like people are forgetting that we're in a part of the season where we're not playing those additional playoff games. We are going to be right back in the throes of 4 competitions, in March. So writing people off and acting like this, we're not going to see a completely different 11 in a couple of weeks is like we're not learning anything. We're not learning anything, so of course everybody's going to play their role. But right now, if I had to choose who's going to start at left back against Chelsea, it would be Hincapié.
I'm with you with that, man. It's like at the end of the day, like we just get over the line. If life was fair, we'd all have a lot less in it. I want everyone to get from a human point of view. You want everyone to get a fair shot in that, but we're at the time where fair enough. Like we just need to get over the line. I love Miles Lewis-Skelly. I would like to see him in midfield. We were robbed of seeing that in the FA Cup. Obviously, you're looking at O'Reilly, who's been reverted back into his original position, and they're getting a bit of a tune out of him. So maybe that's something for Mikel Arteta to learn from. What do you make of this from Marco? I can almost guarantee you we buy another centre-back or left-back this summer and send MLS on loan. I said that months before Wanyeri went out on loan.
I mean, probably. I could see us buying another fullback. I think
I'd want a right back over a left back, another left back, if I'm honest.
I think left back we're kind of okay. I don't know, you guys. I think every summer we think we're gonna sell half the team and bring in a whole new team, and that doesn't happen, so I'm not trying to project too much, but I do think that with some of the injuries, Arsenal probably will look at bringing in a younger fullback or something like that. Center backs, I think they view some of our players able to play that position, so maybe they don't feel like they need to get a center back, but if there was one position at the back that we probably needed a little bit more coverage in, it's probably on the right. But yeah, we'll see.
So that leads me to ask you: do you think we need another defender? Everybody's
Right now
assume
I don't
everybody's
feel.
fit.
I mean, right now I don't feel like, oh my gosh, we should have went in the January window and got a defender. I don't feel that way. I think if I get to the summer, the last thing I'm thinking about is a defender. That's probably like down the list of priorities. But it's something that if you could bring in a young player that maybe could step in for Ben, I don't know. I hate having the conversation around Ben because I feel like he basically risked his life for us. I don't want to kick him to the curb. But he is going to be 29, so I get it that you have to move on from people, but I'm more concerned about what we need going forward. I don't think defense is our issue right now. Even with the injuries that we had in the defense, they still kept us afloat when it was like basically they were down bad. It was Timber and Hincapié at center backs. And
We've seen Raz play right back for us as well this season. It feels like such a long time ago. It's a weird one. I wouldn't say it's a priority. I think a priority for me would be a centre mid or two, depending on what you want to do with Lewis Skelly. I wouldn't be against another striker. We'll get onto Gyokeres, people. And I think the absolute priority, with the greatest respect to Trossard, who for me has been the surprise there, and Martinelli's had his moments. I don't want to have another season where we're doing live streams and we're talking about left wing. That needs to be sorted. That being said, if you could bring me, in terms of versatility, a Timber, Tomiyasu kind of one that can play across the back four, I'd be all for that. It's a weird one because I don't think we need it, but like what you said, but it's like when the season plays out and Callah's going to pick up a knock, Ben White's going to pick up a knock. We've obviously seen Saliba and Gabriel miss out, so I wouldn't be against it. You can never... you can never be too prepared, in it. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, but actually, what might be a better question is like, why do we have so many defenders and so many players, and we still have these injuries? I feel like more than anything, buying players is not going to help us if whatever's going on training pitch or whatever is not being investigated. Because again, we came into this season with a really deep squad, and we've gone through some real bad injury,
same kind of thing,
issues.
Who hasn't been injured in our team? Really, is a better question.
Exactly. People that have never got injured are getting injured this season. So yes, we'll need to replace some players and obviously reboot the squad, like you always have to. But I think more than anything, I would want to know what we're going to do in the physio type of situation, because if we just keep buying but players keep getting injured, is that helping us? So yeah, we could bring in another defender, but if I was honest, I think our priorities lie a little bit further ahead.
I think the absolute underlining priority is actually left wing. Like, there's no way around it. Centre mid, I'm very strong on that, but it kind of is what it is. We have to talk about Gyokeres and Eze, man. What did you make of Eze's performance? What did you make of Gyokeres? Some are saying that's his best performance in an Arsenal shirt. I'm petty. I just don't want to give that to Spurs, but I think obviously you can't subtract his goals, which were well-taken finishes in the North London derby, but the overall performance was there. I must admit, I thought Eze was good. When I watched the game again, whether it's the little decoy run he made when Timber's giving it to Gyokeres for his first, or a lot of his play with Bukayo, he was a lot better than probably what meets the eye. So yeah, them two are the standouts. But what did you make of the two summer signings, man?
Yeah, I think that was
30K between them as well.
That was definitely Gyokeres' best performance to me. Overall, I think people were being a little harsh on him in the first half. To be honest, I thought
and pitchforks for the guy.
Yeah, I think he was good. I think he bullied them, which is something that we're not used to seeing. Usually he's the one getting bullied, so I think he had a good game. I think with Gyokeres, for me, it's just, he needs to get into positions at the top of the box. When you look at the way that he shoots and the power on his shot, he's a good striker of the ball.
Such a well-taken finisher, man. And you'd expect that of an international footballer, 27 years of age, and all the things he's done, whether we rate him or not.
Yeah, but we don't get that very often, so I think getting him into those positions and giving him the ball is the most important thing. And I don't want to take anything away from him. I feel like, yes, I do have it in the back of my head that Spurs are not good. But at this stage, it's like, if you flat track bully for the rest of the season, we'll win, because it's not like all the teams that we're playing are going to be the top 1% of football, if that makes sense, So regardless of the opposition, regardless of what position they're in, I think Gyokeres just had a really good game. He had a top level game. You could tell that he was confident. And I'm
Did
wondering
well
if,
against Wolves in a disappointing game as well.
yeah, and whatever conversation that they had after the Wolves game, I think if you had to look at a player and say who listened to that, it was probably Gyokeres. And I wonder if that conversation was, can you give us the ball? Can you give me the ball? Like, you don't give me the ball. So if you give me the ball, I will score, but you guys
So do you
don't give
think,
me the
sorry
ball.
to cut you, but on that, do you think he's earned the trust of his teammates now? Because me and you have done these videos a long time, but focusing on this season, we and you have gone through the comments about Arteta saying the players need to find him. Obviously,
Yeah.
do they trust him or do they not? It feels like whether we like Gyokeres and he's aesthetically pleasing, he's got that balance now, isn't it? Like the players are finding him,
Yeah,
he's
but
adapting to the game, and yeah,
yeah,
man.
he 60% of the games he doesn't even get a shot. So it's hard to gain trust when you're not given the opportunity to fuck it up. And I feel like he in some games does not even get the opportunity. Like, it's not like he's Darwin Nunez, right? Darwin Nunez was getting loads of chances and missing them. He was getting no chances. And so, yes, he's rough around the edges, and his overall technical level is not, I think, what most Arsenal fans would associate with what we want. But make no mistakes about it, we just need somebody who can put the ball in the back of the net when we need it. And he did that, So what would disappoint me is if we go into the next game and then all of a sudden they're not passing him the ball or they're not supplying him. So, yeah, I think people doing a lot of micro-analyzing Gyokeres and oh, but he's on the same amount of goals as your golden boy Ekatike. So we just need somebody to put them all in the back of the net, not microanalyze, give him the ball, and let's see. I think he was really good, especially the first goal, and we needed that goal. His first goal was an important goal because we had made the mistake, and it was after halftime, and they were dooming us, and Arsenal will be devastated because they didn't do this and that, and they were ahead, and then he scores the go-ahead goal, which I think gave the team more confidence. It was an important goal. So it wasn't just the fourth goal and a rout. It was an important goal. So, yeah, I think he was really, really good. And I thought Eze was really good as well. I think with Eze right now, it's
He
just
loves it against Spurs, isn't it?
yeah, he loves playing against them. But I need you to also love playing against Chelsea. I need you to also love playing against Brighton, because he's going to get a run. And like Odegaard is still in and out of the team, and Kai, we don't know where he's at. So, and there's no Marino. So I don't think Arteta is going to drop him after the performance that he had at North London Derby.
You reckon?
I don't think he will.
We're assuming Chelsea in it, like a week removed, as they still starting, obviously, against Chelsea.
Yeah, I think he will. I think because Arteta has the opportunity to allow somebody to, again, have the opportunity to fuck it up, give him the opportunity to mess it up, or add on to what he's already done in the North London Derby, while also allowing some of these other players to fully recover from their. Kai and Odegaard have been in and out of the team all year.
I like what you said with Ben White. We've ran Kai into the ground, whether people rate him or not. We have Sly Gabriel Magalhaes as well.
Exactly. So to me, at this stage, it's like you have to. We're going to be at home. He just had that great performance. You yanked him out of the team against Brentford. No, you yanked him after the Wigan game and then wanted him to come in for the Wolves game when we were like down bad. And I just feel like he's going to have to manage Eze differently than the way that he's managed other players. In the past, I feel like he's managed some of the players that need a little arm around the shoulder, that need a little bit more with that iron fist, that only Saka and those kind of players, like they can deal with that. Eze needs a little bit of the arm around the shoulder and that kind of stuff. So I think you need to play him against Chelsea. You need to give him that opportunity. But you also, Arteta, need to take some of the tactics that you had against Spurs and apply it to Chelsea. You're not going to be able to do it 100%. Chelsea are not going to just be like wide open. But if we're not finding
a better tactician than Tudor based on the clubs they're at this moment in time.
Yeah,
it's just Chelsea's defense is food, man. Let's get at them.
Yeah, I don't want to see all of a sudden Timber in that front line again. getting more opportunities than Eze to shoot. I don't want that. I don't want Timber having more shots than Eze in the game. You need to give him more freedom. The key to Eze is freedom. And I know that Arteta is kind of like, freedom, the light, but you need to give him some of that, because otherwise you're just setting him up to fail. So it's both. But if Eze can have a run, then it will allow other players to not have to be rushed back after injury, and it'll give you more options in the long run. You'll have a confident Eze, fully fit Kai Havertz, fully fit Odegaard to go into these last couple of games, plus Champions League, plus FA Cup, plus the final. So yeah, I think he has to. He has to. He actually has to start both of Gyokeres and Eze if they're fit. He has to.
And I think with they both it sounds a bit dumb, because every human being is a confident player, whether Jess has that like Ibrahimovic belief in herself, or I'm a bit more of a softer touch. If I score, I think I'm amazing, or I think I'm shaky. It helps everyone. I've said this to you before, yeah. I think with Gyokeres, away from the whole fanfare with what he's doing at Sporting, the fact we needed a forward, just playing for Arsenal anyways, and how the dynamics are, I wouldn't say he's lacked confidence, but it's looked like it's a bit of a shell shock. And I won't quite say it's not like you don't believe in yourself and things, but when you're not scoring and you're going through that kind of like transition to being an Arsenal footballer, I do think I've seen that. Like nowadays, he scores, he's off doing that. He kind of had to be egged on. For Eze, you need to get a run in it. I think it's more of I think Gyokeres can more cope with if they've got 10 games. Like obviously he's a striker, but Gyokeres can more cope with you ain't scored in 10 games in those 10 games. Eze kind of needs to feel a bit of confidence. So if these men collectively can get confidence, if the players can go for a purple patch in the attack, I'm laughing. And we all are laughing. Like, we just have it right. We need our attack, obviously our defense and midfield, but our attackers need to carry the burden. I want to ask you about Saka as well. What did you make of Saka's performance? Because I do feel people are dishonest. I think Saka's goal scoring exploits have been poor this season. It didn't look like it was his day, but I think when you remove the GA, and especially when I talk to a lot of Spurs match-going fans, they agree with me that he had a good game. I actually think he had a very decent game, very good partnership with Eze. I know he obviously got an assist for Eze, but yeah, what did you make of Saka's performance? And like, do you think the 10 experiment with him is dead, whether it's because of Eze or whatever option we could deploy there?
I don't think it's dead, because I still think Arteta is going to revert back to the people that he really trusts in games where he's afraid of getting out physical. Like the physical part of the game is going to. Boys, can you stop? Sorry,
he's offering his opinion, man.
They're doing the most right now. But yeah, I think Eze is going to continue to play there, but Saka will probably get opportunities there, here and there. I don't see it being dead. Now, Saka, I think that he had his usual good game without GA.
Fulham away comes to mind.
Yeah, it was like the usual game without GA. But I would be dishonest if I did not say that I think that the finishing is an issue, because we won, but Saka has lacked that finishing touch this season, and he's your main guy. So where we kind of got away with it because Gyokeres and Eze did their thing, he needs to be putting some of those chances away. Great player, best player, face of the franchise, all that. But I also think
about 300 grand a week.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into any of that, because I feel like ultimately, whenever somebody gets a new contract, or they're getting paid more, or whatever, their status in the team changes, there's already an army of people with the pitchfork saying, well, does he deserve this money? Oh no, like he had a bad performance, he's not living up to the price tag. There's always people that have that, they're doing that. So Saka is going to get that no matter what. And there also always has to be this person is doing the best job and this person is doing the worst job. So Saka, if he doesn't start scoring, people are going to be on him. It's going to be, there always has to be somebody that's not living up to it or not pulling their weight or whatever. So if Gyokeres and Eze are doing their thing, it's going to be Saka if he's not scoring. So it's kind of just how things go. I kind of hate it that way, because just because you don't score doesn't mean that you had a bad game. But
the day and age we live in, man.
Yeah, I think if you ask Saka like what he could have done better in that game, he would have said, I probably should have scored, so I don't think that's like a wild thing, but going into the contract and, oh, he's too busy doing this, he's not gonna. Saka gives his life on the line for Arsenal.
There was even one guy who was like, "Oh my God, Saka! Ever since you got a girlfriend," I was like, "Come on, bro!" Like, obviously, like Jessa said, then I'm gonna echo it rather boringly. Of course, you're gonna die by one the high expectations you've set. Of course, if you're on a big money contract, we expect a bit more. But I don't care about his money. I don't even want to make it about other people. But Saka on 300 grand, or Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, this one and that one on the wages they're at. Players, if anyone deserves the money in football and it's flushed with it is obviously the players. Now, I don't know Saka from nowhere, but does he strike you as someone that I get money and now I'm off it? Nobody, you hear the way Saka speaks and the people he wants to learn from. It is what it is. And on one hand, you have to do better. Like, you have to score. We believe in you. We believe in all of that. But I also believe in, and not just him, a lot of footballers, like some man have done it for years, or some man, the first 10, 20 games of the season, in all comps, they might have been amazing. Now the next 20, they're slugging it out. You kind of have to support them a bit. I do find that way around the number of players, especially the ones that divide opinion, like a Kai Havertz will come to mind. But unfortunately, Jess, we live in a day and age where people just watch highlights. They want to run banter. You go from loving a footballer to not. Saka needs a new deal. Now he's not focused. Do you genuinely think these footballers are not focused on trying to win a title? Now, if they don't do it, we'll ask questions. But no, there's not going to be that distraction. And I don't know Mikel Arteta from anywhere. But that's one thing he's not going to stand for. And that's something that has clearly been eradicated. If you're not with this and at all moments, it's an idiot thing. I don't know if I asked you, but, Raya, now, it's neither here nor there, whether it's Gabriel Magalhaes or Raya away at Wolves, but he came in to stick there. He came in to stick against Brentford. What do you make of his performance against Spurs? Not that he was called into action all the time, but I think his distribution was decent. And I think in the second half, when he did have to do things, he did his thing in it, and he's unlucky not to get a clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, I think Raya has come into question. I feel like whenever we're not playing well, whatever narrative or agenda that you've had for years, it always rears its ugly head. There are lots of people that were very vocal about we shouldn't be getting Raya. Raya's not good enough. He's not better than Ramsdale. They lost that battle.
That age like milk.
Yeah, then they started off with the Juan Garcia thing. We have to get Juan Garcia. We have to get him.
Why not take another goalie?
Yeah, it's like, and so it goes away for a while because they have to stay quiet because Raya's doing well. But then the minute that he has a little moment, then it's like, I told you
with
good enough.
Zubermendi.
Yeah, and I say this all the time because I feel like people never really they're not hearing it. But the reality is you can't change certain things about yourself. If you're not fast, you're not fast. If you're not tall, you're not tall. So essentially, you're going to accept some parts of that, and your analysis has to add that. So Raya is not going to be able to get every single one of those long shots because he's short. What I'm going to be mad at him about,
like a fucking jump higher than the crossbar. He's like a cat.
Yeah. My thing is, if he's not doing what I expect him to do, which is make those saves like he did against Spurs, like that goal line save, then I'm mad. Because that's what Raya is known for. That's what I know within his physical abilities is going to be able to do. But it's kind of like being mad at Marino because he can't run fast. It's like,
Gyokeres to look like Gabriel Jesus technically.
He's not fast, but if Marino's fucking up on his headers, then I'm going to be mad at him because that's his thing. Yeah. So
go back. Yeah.
Yeah. So Raya was always going to be facing an uphill battle with a lot of the fan base because then people were, for some reason, really attached to Ramsdale. And then also he's a different type of goalkeeper. The standard for a goalkeeper is you need to be big and tall. And so, he's not 6'4". Oh, that's going to be a problem. But I'm going to tell you right now that Raya could have given up.
The Spanish keepers 9 times out of 10, especially at youth level. There's some of the shortest.
Raya could make a couple more mistakes this season and have given up all the goals that we've given up this season already and still not be the problem. Our problem is not our defense. It's just not. And he's probably the least of our issues, even with being short. But he did well, I thought, with, making the save that he needed to. I know some people felt like he should have saved the first mistake Rice situation with Kolomawani. But
Bro,
I'm
no,
sorry,
I'm not having
but
that.
stand here and let somebody kick the ball right there and like, oh, you should have made a kick save.
There's
Like, are
nothing you
you
can
for
do,
real?
man. Like, it is what it is. It starts and stops with Rice. Like, again, I watched the game again. Rice actually did the right thing initially in that he saw that there was going to be a fire. He's put it out. He's gambled, and the house always wins in it. You either clear your line, ironically, go back to Ramsdale, and it's neither here nor there. Unfortunately, he didn't do that. Now, with David Raya, I always say this to you. It's a bit like Saliba, different positions. I think their biggest gift and curse is that they're so not lackadaisical, but they're at one pace. They're not overruled. I do think that fucks Raya at times. I do think, yeah, there's an element of, and I hate to do this, but there's been an element of pressure in certain games and game states, not just Raya, but man are doing things uncharacteristically. I'm happy with Raya. If we can upgrade, we could always upgrade. If Garcia came, then that
Yeah.
probably would have been another Ramsdale situation. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Raya's top 5 in the world, in my opinion. In the league, I have him as the second best, probably third if Alisson's form's there. But like you said there's less energy for that. But you touched on something, yeah. You touched on Declan Rice. Now, in my opinion, Declan Rice recovered in the second half. He was good in the
Mhm.
first. It is what it is. It's all laugh and jokes. I'm not trying to make it about Declan Rice here, but I feel like just I'm seeing too many things. I feel we dropped 21 points. Well, it's not even Phil. I know for a fact we dropped 21 points from winning positions. We've got into this weird habit of as soon as we score, we're kind of conceding. That was against Man United. That obviously reared its head against Spurs. And individual mistakes. Now, mistakes happen, but,
Mhm.
Zubamendi's had one. In fact, I could share it with you. And obviously, this is in 2026. Zubamendi obviously did it in the North London derby. And the one thing I would say, mistakes are not just in the middle and defensive third. Mistakes can be classified as obviously people like Martinelli against Nottingham Forest, where he's basically missing a shot that's harder to miss than score. Somehow he's done that. But they do kind of fuck you in the arse in the middle and defensive third. But what did you make of Rice's mistake? And I guess the broader question is, because we know Rice saves us in it. I saw this from Sam Dean people. In 2026 alone, Arsenal have conceded 4 goals in the Premier League as a result of silly mistakes. Gabriel Magalhaes against Bournemouth, Zubamendi against Man United, Gabriel Magalhaes and Raya / against Wolves, and obviously Rice is the latest one against Spurs. Now, especially maybe because we've been on the road, but what do you make of that? And these have all happened on the road.
Yeah, I think Rice's mistake was very uncharacteristic for him, and I think it was kind of surprising to see him. But I don't know. I tried to avoid as much Arsenal content as I possibly could after the Wolves game, but
You're not alone.
I did see one clip of Rice doing that interview, and I was like, he looks like he has the world on his shoulders. He looks shook to me.
Do you think that's a
Um,
problem of his? Like he's trying
Yeah,
to
that
do
was
too
not a
much Captain
relaxed
Fantastic.
kind of no, that was a very like, I need to say these things, but I'm kind of, I'm slipping a little bit too. Then he has like the moment against Tottenham, and I think he did recover. That being said, when we play against better teams, which we're going to play against lots of better teams than Spurs this season, it's going to be more difficult to get those goals back. And so they need to cut that out.
And it's
Whatever
happening
that
too
is,
frequent now. There's a pattern there.
yeah, we don't make people have to score the best goals against us. Like we're gifting them.
And then
And
people want to sit there and say, oh my, but it was a low quality XG chance, which is great. But fundamentally, you've still conceded in it. So I think the good, the bad, and the ugly. We've seen enough to know what we need to fix at this football team, if I'm honest with you, just.
yeah, and I think it just shows that like overall, no matter what you think about these players, like look at the people that made those mistakes. Those are gifted goals from
Exactly.
two players that it's especially with Rice and Gabrielle that people feel like should be captain. So if anything, like that just shows how rife that level of like shookness is within the team. So yeah, they need to knock that shit off because we can laugh about it now and it's kind of a meme, but against better teams, they're gonna lock in after they get that equalizer and we'll be in trouble. I do not like the way we look after we score. That there's like 5 minutes of madness.
Man
And
United comes to mind.
yeah, we need to get that together, I feel. But yeah, I mean, these are like your main players, Zubamendi, Gabrielle, and Rice, the players that, people really do associate with calmness and leadership, and they're not on it. So Spurs was a nice game to like be able to recover, but you won't be able to recover from that a lot, so I was worried about that. I'm not gonna lie.
I still
I'm
thought
still
we'd
worried
win,
about
man. I still thought we'd win purely because it's Spurs. But the underlining point you made there is like there's going to be better teams. There's going to be different game states, and ultimately, I feel like I don't feel like in this little period this season, generally, we've adhered to like the cliches in football, if that makes sense. Just like football's a 90-minute game. You're most vulnerable when you've just scored. All you kill games before they kill you. All of these 1-0 is a dangerous scoreline, 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. I feel especially away from home in this last cluster of results, whether we've won against Spurs or even games we've won, because even at the Emirates, our bacon got saved against Wolves, and then
Yeah.
it didn't help us away. We just kind of need to adhere to those standards. I've kind of accepted like the collective things we're good at, the collective things we can improve at, the individuals. I feel like I've got past the point of this season where I think we're going to kind of click into gear in that. It kind of is what it is. You've got 10, 11 games, broskies, just win the thing in it. It's an absolutely as simple as that for me, man. And obviously, Mikel Arteta, you got the tactics right against Spurs, but this is what I mean by whether it's psychological, whether it's tactics. Before I look at City or this one or that one, a lot of the times we're either our own best friends or our own worst enemies. It's that meme in it where you got the three things and my man's hitting himself over there, and people say it's Arsenal. We got a couple of questions, or you've got a couple of questions. Just keep them flowing and keep them coming, people. It's a great way to, segue into what I want to ask later, innit? I don't know how much you talked about the lineup, but do you guys prefer a creative midfield or a strong midfield? I feel like in today's day and age, you need ideally both. I think you need more of an athletic midfield, if I'm honest with you. But where are
For
you
the
at with
Prem,
that?
for sure.
Exactly.
I feel like, again, like this question is kind of like a trick question because we can say a creative midfield all we want, but ultimately when we play like with the 10 and the 2 6s, there have been games where we haven't seen anything, so, and then there's games where you play a more, robust midfield and then you don't have creativity. I just feel you need to find that balance. But in the Premier League in particular, I just don't think you can play a just fully creative midfield. You have to have
Well, so
players that,
he's saying for Chelsea specifically, so we kind of have to
yeah, you
limit
need to have legs. You need to be able to, do your thing. And like for Chelsea specifically, um, they're one of the more difficult midfields that we've had to deal with. We've come out on top, but I do feel like sometimes the midfield battle is a lot closer than every other battle. Their attack can't get out our defense, and our attack can get at their defense, but that midfield battle sometimes it's real close. And that's because they have the physical, they have the runners, they have that. So
they're
for
inverting and
that,
all the rest of it. To be fair, Maresca and obviously Liam Rosner, they're nerds, like footballing nerds, like they do kind of do that. And
yeah,
it's that age old thing in it. Football's decided in both ends of the pitch, like
yeah,
but
you
it's
have to
played
have
in
both.
midfield. So
Yeah. So
we
what?
can't really do anything. It has to be Rice and Zubamendi, and I assume Eze in it. The only
Yeah,
talking point
it
could be
has
if
to
it's
be.
Odegaard. He
That
ain't
being
really got nothing.
Yeah, that being said, I do think that it's important for Arsenal to understand how they're going to get that ball to Eze away from Caicedo. I think you just already know that Caicedo, right? He's going to be playing, right? He's not going to be suspended, right?
Get him out of there,
Does
man.
anybody know?
Lock down Cole Palmer, get Caicedo sent off,
Yeah,
and we're laughing.
Caicedo is going to be in and around Eze. If Eze can't get the ball, it's going to be like it's nullified, So that's going to be the most important thing. And I think that's what we've struggled to do is in games where we're playing against more sturdy midfields and they're flooding the midfield is Eze just kind of disappears. So that'd probably be my only concern. But you kind of just have to play him and see. And then if it doesn't work, then you'll change it later. But yeah. And I don't
And you've
feel
got Odegaard.
Mendy or Rice does a good enough job getting him the ball at times. Like it's almost like they're just managing their space. But a part of your job as well is to get the ball to your attackers and whatever. And I feel like if I looked at a pass map over the last, look at the games that Eze and Zubamendi and Rice have played together, I feel like it would be tough to see the passes that they've made to him.
Is that on the gaffer or the players? Because obviously they need to take initiative, but sometimes we've
Yeah.
tweaked, like you said there, as much as against Spurs, we're happy to see the fullbacks just be normal fullbacks. Based on that example, you said there might be games where we might need someone to invert, but the players also have to take initiative. Like Zubamendi's been getting a lot of heat, like he passes sideways. Like, how much of it is on the players at this point in the season for you to fuck it? I'm gonna go and do this, or kind of stick to the, or is it on the manager?
I mean, I don't know. It's such a weird one because there's sometimes where I look at Arteta on the sideline and I don't think I see him saying, "Don't pass forward," or don't have any endeavor.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm not in those conversations. It's so hard to know because some people are like Arteta's 100% telling them not to be creative, not to go
Yeah, they
forward,
say
not
it
to
so
do
many
these
times,
things.
like they had a convo with the guy.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen Arteta yelling at Saliba because he won't pass the ball forward because he's just diddling on the ball and then just passes it sideways. So it's a tough one, but I think, do you want this league? Because Arteta is not going to be mad at you if you have more endeavor and you score and we win. So yeah, do you believe in
Mm.
yourself enough to take that risk, or are you going to play it safe because if you lose the ball or whatever, you're going to be in trouble? So I don't know. It's hard to know because I don't 100% believe Arteta saying don't ever pass it forward, be negative the whole time. I don't know if I believe that. So yeah, it's up to them. It's up to them, I think.
Even against Aston Villa and who was it? Aston Villa and Wolves at home. Like he was saying, I don't know why they're sitting back. I didn't tell them to do it. So it's one where you wish you was a fly on the wall. Ultimately, the players have to take responsibility because you're on the pitch. And unfortunately, the good, the bad, the ugly. End of the day, this is football. It's going to be with the gaffer. Like it is. We all know people are going to run agendas. We're a bit of a weird fan base. Like it's either all Arteta, it's either none of it's Arteta. And then you get like the minority, like you, like myself, like probably a lot of the people that watch our specific channels, in that they might lean towards the left or the right on topics, but they tend to be a bit more balanced. Again, I can't pronounce your name, Osan, but big up yourself. He said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you we'll still go on and win the league, guys? I'm shitting it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to give a 1 out
Five.
of 10. I'm kind of,
Five.
yeah, maybe like a 5 because I really do think it's 50-50 now. Um, for the whole season, it's basically been like 80% to 30 or even more. It's now like 50-50. And I feel like the Chelsea game will tell me everything I need to know about what
You get
direction
me
we're
9 points, and I'm a lot more confident in it. Because what I
Yeah.
want, Jeff, I don't know if the boys are gonna do it. Now, there's a reality: you win at the Etihad and you don't win the league, or you lose there and you do win the league. But obviously, if the points gap stays like this, and we've obviously won the league if we win all our games, I can't guarantee that. I can't guarantee at a minimum no points are dropped prior to the City game. So we're playing. We said it last week. We're playing Pac-Man. There's no more lives. You cannot get caught. How bad do you want it? Declan Rice never shy to do an interview. You say if you want to be a legend at the time, these are
Mm.
the 4 months. Arteta saying enjoy it. End of the day, players, you lot are the ones that are gonna have to sit there with that familiar feeling in May of we never got it over the line. Because again, I can bring up many a talking points or periods like Liverpool away, Man City at home, Aston Villa where you could have got a point, Forest, Man United, Forest, Man United, Liverpool at the Emirates, where we could have done better. But unfortunately, that's neither here nor there. You've got what you've got. You don't have what you don't have. All you can do as a minimum is keep this kind of title race chat ticking every week. Pray to God City lose City drop points. Gary Neville's telling us not to celebrate. Did he see them against Newcastle? But that's neither here nor there, man. What are you
Yeah.
saying for this as well? Go on, Jess. Because this
Yeah. They're just with Arsenal right now. It's just like, you have to win it. Like, I don't,
game by game
my
setting.
1 to 10 doesn't really matter. What do they think? Do they think they're going to win it or no? So they just have to do it. They made their lives a lot more difficult, but they still have everything in their power to win it. They are not playing, they've gotten through all their really difficult games outside of this Chelsea game and the City game away at the Etihad. The only reason why we're afraid of the Brighton
We ain't won there
aways
in a
and
million years.
yeah, the only reason why we're afraid of the Brighton aways and all that kind of stuff is because we have these examples of us slipping against teams that are way lesser than us. If we
Especially
didn't
the ones
have
on
that, we
paper.
feel totally comfortable. If you could look at our games coming up, a lot of them are at home against teams that are nowhere near as good as us. If we were playing against all the top teams right now, like I'd be like, oh shit, the fact that I'm afraid and it's Brighton away and shit is just because they tend to lose focus in games that we should be winning. So yeah, it's a tough one. Do they believe? That's the more important than do we believe?
Exactly. And they can tell us they believe, which I don't doubt. But at the end of the day, we're not there. Like, we're not there. As I said, the losses, the draws, they've happened now. Go and learn from it. I do feel like despite the negatives and areas of improvements, we have been ticking along. Like we're in February, bordering on March, still talking about generally we want to see this in attack. We want to see us keep more clean sheets, manage games smarter, have better first halves and capitalize and put games to bed in the first half. We want this player to do well, that player. So I think from maybe last season, but from August to now, we're still talking about the same things, which is why I said just that at this point, I kind of accept it. Despite all of that, you're in a great position. Like I know the Champions League is to come back and the FA Cup against Mansfield. We've mainly been focusing on the Prem, and like banter aside, no one expects us to do the quadruple, but you're still in with a chance. You want to win everything in it. You want to compete in everything. So you've still got that. There was a question kind of talking about that. Like somebody, I need to find it. Somebody made some before I find it. Yeah, somebody said, should you play Miles Lewis-Skelly left wing?
Have you seen this crossing?
I got
go look at Miles Lewis-Skelly's crossing and then come back to me.
I'm not trying to see Miles Lewis-Skelly left wing. You're asking a fish to climb a tree. Just put the man left back, if not that centre mid, and let the man cook in it.
Want him in the team so bad they can envision him anywhere, but ultimately, if he's not playing in midfield or left back, then
exactly.
He's not that type of player.
Or do what you see with City with O'Reilly, where you're playing as a centre mid on paper, but obviously when El Nouri's run forward, in our case in Capia, he's covering. He's not quite playing like a left winger, but you're sensible to know where you need to stand, and that's kind of what I want to see. Like I didn't really, I do like Saka in that 10 role, or at least like interchanging in that role. I never saw it against Spurs, but these are the kind of things when you're playing these mid and low blocks and these manager nerds, which 9 times out of 10, that is the battle in the Premier League. Yeah. You need things that provide spanners in the works, and it's a jarring one. There it is. Sonza said, unpopular opinion, I think it's better losing the League Cup to City and going ahead to win the league. Imagine the opposite happening.
I mean, I think the things they're connected. I feel like you beat them in the League Cup, then you can utilize that. I do feel like there could be some damage to the team. Let me put it this way. If we don't win the Carabao Cup, that's going to hurt us. If they don't win it, I don't know how much psychological damage, because they seem to have a little bit more of a psychological edge, because basically what's happened in the last, since they've beaten Liverpool, is we've lost the psychological battle with them. So we need the League Cup more than they do. If they don't win it, it's fine. We need it, because then all of a sudden the psychological aspect is like, well, they've already beat them, so they'll beat them again. So personally, I think we do need to win that Carabao Cup. Losing it, I don't. This team psychologically is a little bit I think they listen. I believe that they listen to the people that are, they've lost the Carabao Cup. Now City got the edge.
They need to get this itch off their back, man. Then I'd be a lot more confident in title races, regardless of if we bottle it in years to come or we get over the line. I think somebody commented this, until they we'll always believe, we'll always support, but until they get over the line, there's always that oof. And the players can't afford to have that in it. At the end of the day, you lot are in a privileged position. You've earned that right. You lot are professional footballers. I don't agree with gaslighting football fans and support blindlessly. And what I mean by that is you should support your team blindlessly. I can think every player in that team is shit. Once a game's kicked off, I'm with you lot in it. But I don't believe in just any negativity or anything that isn't just blindless optimism is negative. That's not the real world. And you wouldn't, anyone that feels like that, I struggle to believe that you're a good son, daughter, auntie, uncle, whatever, because you're not honest. You're not honest to anyone in your life, really. And that is a form of copium. You just want to shut everything out and delude yourself. We've got a good opportunity. There's many ways to be kind of shook, but it is what it is. If everybody's fit, who do you start against Chelsea, Eze or Martin? Do you know what? It's weird, yeah? Martin this season, it's been poor, innit? But if anything, he's looked better off the bench. Newcastle comes to mind. North London Derby comes to mind. Leeds come to mind. All away from home. So, if everybody's fit, who are you going with?
You just have to start Eze because of his performance. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. He's not going to keep that spot if he goes ghost again. So nobody should expect him to just get a random run in our 10 league games when we need to win if he doesn't show up. And that's not just because of Odegaard. That's also because of Kai. So he's going to have to perform, but he should start against Chelsea. But I just wanted to put that out there because I feel like people are like, he should just get a run. We have 10 games left. If he's not playing well, he's going to get yanked, and he should. So anybody that's
We
not
ain't got
playing
time to
well,
carry people, man.
you have to change things. So yeah, of course he should start against Chelsea. So yeah.
And it's weird because I actually feel, whoever wins the League Cup final will lose that game, like the same fixture in the league. So if we win the League Cup, I think we lose. Of course, I'd love to win because I feel it's 2 cup finals, really. Obviously, you get the League Cup over the line, itch off your back. The players know for at least for a period what it's like winning. At the end of the day, we ain't won at the Etihad since Santi Cazorla and my man was obviously Santi Cazorla and Coughlin were our centre mids. Unacceptable. We've coped a lot better. We've had some decent games. There's been a lot of shithousery. But if we're not going to win there, we never will. And to be honest, I say that every year about Anfield. So it is what it is. Speaking of that, though, man, I know I asked you this last week, but I want to ask you again, man. Let's play win, loss, or draw. I've been doing this with everyone who's been on the channel. Let's start with Chelsea. W, draw, L.
Go with a win. I don't know.
Don't shoot me. I'm going to go with a loss.
For Chelsea?
I'm scared. I'm nervous about it. I just felt like when we came into...
We're at home. Why would we lose?
We've lost at home
before. If anything, it's a draw.
I'd love to be wrong. And as for me, there's no logic as to why I'm shook. It's just how I felt. It's like as much as like I could tell you analytically as to why we weren't going to lose Spurs to Spurs. I just felt against Wolves, Brighton away, Chelsea, and I'm missing whatever these 4 games have been. There weren't really any logic behind why I thought we was beating Spurs in it. But that's how I felt. I feel it's the flip side with Chelsea. I do think they're owed a W. Of course, I want to be wrong, but I want the boys to prove me wrong. That's just how I feel, Jess. I just think it's a loss. I hope I'm wrong. Where I'm a bit weird now is where you at with Brighton?
I feel like Brighton might be where we draw points.
That's why I asked you. I'm the opposite.
Not Chelsea at home.
So what you got for Brighton?
Like a draw. I think we'll draw that game.
See, I'm going W. We're going to big up Mansfield Town, but we're going to focus on the Prem. David Moyes, Everton.
I think we'll beat them at home.
I hope so. You know what? 1-0. They're not going to give us much. Just take it and get out of there. So what? That's a W. So both
I think it'll be kind of like Sunderland. I think we'll think it's going to be much harder than it is, but
I want you to be right. I want you to be right. I want these last games to 3-4-0 in the first half. Mars Lewis Skelly and all the young kids on the bench down and go get minutes. What are you saying for Bournemouth at home?
I think we'll win that game.
I'm going W as well. City away.
I think we'll draw.
You know what? I'm just going to do the passion merchant thing, Jess. If we don't win then, we're never going to win it. So I'm going to go W. Newcastle.
I think we'll win. I think we're giving a lot of things. Like Arsenal fans actually think Newcastle are going to take points off of City. This is not that same Newcastle from a couple seasons ago. We'll beat them at home.
A bit like how I feel about Everton, man. We'll just get the job done, man. Like it won't be pretty, but we'll get the job done. W. It's weird because there's a couple bogey teams. Fulham.
We'll beat them at home too. We'll beat West Ham away too.
I'm going W West Ham. I'm going draw Fulham.
Yeah.
Burnley.
We'll beat Burnley at home.
I'm going W. Palace away.
That's the tough one because, Palace, they'll do up their best team in the world against us kind of thing. But they're also in crisis and their manager literally hates them. So I think we'll win. I think the scary one is the slippery slope if you drop points to Brighton, because if you do, then you just need to suck it up because your next couple games are except for, City, are at home. You have to be winning at home. So
you've only got 2 away games left. Make it count.
Yeah, exactly. And I expect the Man City game to be a draw. I think we'll go there and we'll do what we usually do and we'll probably draw it. So yeah, it's the Brighton game is a slippery slope because if you allow that to if you drop points, you have to just immediately wash it away and just win the rest of your games because you only have 2 more away games. You have to be winning at home. You have to
make it count. And it's a weird one just because I do think the players, and it's been a bit, even when we've won, it's a bit topsy-turvy at home. I do think generally at this point this season, I've been more disappointed with us away from home. Like, cool, we dispatched Leeds. Who else have we dealt with? Burnley. Whereas I think the game I've been the happiest is Newcastle away. But then it's more on the manager. There's Anfield and we did win against United early in the season, but Anfield comes to mind. So Liverpool,
Mm.
Sunderland. I don't care how people shape it to me. And I know you can't win every game, but end of the day, 50 minutes away from 3 points, you didn't bring home the bacon. We all spoke about Wolves. We all know how it ended against Aston Villa. We all know how disappointed it was against Brighton. So it's a weird one where we now need to make this home form kind of count.
Yeah.
Ryan, respectfully, I think me and Jess can answer this. Yeah, we need to go on win as many games in a row in what's left of the season, innit? So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So there's not
Yeah,
really things with
I
Jack.
agree. I mean, it's if you got to this stage and you looked at the games that we have, you would take that because so many of them are at home. The problem with Arsenal is that they make every single game really hard. And so they need to figure out a way to make these games not as difficult. And you start by scoring goals early, actually trying to attack teams, being confident, and not giving up goals immediately after you score.
Kill games when it's in your favor as well, man.
Exactly.
Don't let
You
mood
have
swings.
to. Yeah, you have to. But these next two games, I know we say this about every single game, but the Chelsea game, because it's a cup final, and like you said, you're feeling like they're due a win, right? They're going to be doing everything in their power to stop us. Like that's just what they're going to be doing. Winning
We're
that
everyone's
game,
cup final this season.
yeah, winning that game and then going away to Brighton and making that a non-thing will help tremendously. But if you drop points in those games, it's going to be next to impossible because once you get to the point where you have to win at the Etihad, it's going to get dark.
And that's what I don't want to be the case, man. Paul, appreciate you and big up Brumtown. Gooners have definitely inspired a new ism. Everywhere I go, I see Arsenalists. Gooner hate is beyond a joke now. What do you think? What do you and Jess think? What do you think? Me, I don't care, man. Because I hate all of this. I see it in all the TalkSport comments. That's why nobody wants Arsenal to win the league. If you don't support Arsenal, I don't give a fuck what they want.
It's mass psychosis. It's people need other people to justify and validate their hate for Arsenal. What they say that we do is no different than what other fan bases do. How every fan base is like this, especially in the where you lose a game, it's all over. You win a game, it's you're winning the World Cup.
We're the kings and queens of
Everybody
that.
is like that. Like, and when you see people like Patrice Evra and Troy Deeney saying that it's all the fans' fault, all that tells you is that they're just like every other weirdo online football fan that sits around on Twitter and Instagram and watches Arsenal fans not hate their club and what they hear is they think they're the best team in the world. They think that they're going to win everything. They think that they're better than this. They think they're better than that. It's psychosis. It's like if you blaming the fans and you say, well, it's the fans' fault that Arsenal are like this and nobody likes Arsenal, it's because you sit on Twitter all day and you sit on Instagram all day. And because you're so used to Arsenal fans hating their team and you love that, now you can't even, because they'll sit there and say you have to win the league. And then if you're saying, oh, well, I think we will win the league, then it's, oh, so you think you're the best team that's ever played football ever. And it's like, that's not what I said. But you guys would say that we need to win the league.
And it's a herd mentality because for me, I don't really care who rates Arsenal, who doesn't. Yeah, I think, if I use the term belief respectively in it, but Arteta is up there with one of the best managers in the world. I'm not saying he's the best, he needs to win and everything, but he is in it. Like he's probably near the lower end. You've shown you can compete in Europe. You sniffed at it in the league. You get a lot of plaudits. I think there's half decent players. We're literally closer to getting over the line than the other way. So I do think it's a fair question to say, why can't you get over the line? But then you've got people, and that's for people of all football clubs that can have genuine football debates. But then you've got the agendas. This player is overrated. Your manager's this, that, the third. But then, like, to the point where you don't rate none of these duns. But then we must do this. This is why I say to Eric, and I know it's jarring. Arsenal is engagement hubs, and then United is second. If these people stop talking about Arsenal, there's no engagements, there's no clicks. That's why you see a lot of content creators. The bulk of their content is about Arsenal Football Club, not about their own club. And granted, football's for all. Just because I'm an Arsenal fan don't mean I can't talk about Barca. But we know the game's the game. And I would say for some Arsenal fans, pull your pants and your knickers up and just stop seeking validation. You need to be comfortable with the fact that people don't like us, people don't rate us, like people are not fair to us. Fuck them. This is why we're at the stage. Man just need to win trophies because you can say what you want. You can't erase history in it. It's as simple as that. Yes, 100%. Arsenal fans on socials, we've got some idiots. Like we've got people that do a lot and we know why they do that. But every fan base has that. We're just the most highlighted. Fan base has because we set off this social media analysis thing. We all saw what Robbie and the man did.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just we were everybody's favorite punching bag for about 10 years,
Exactly.
so they're losing their favorite punching bag. We're like the perfect team to punch down on. Um, and now if they lose that, then potentially their team becomes that, and they don't want that, so they need to keep us down as long as possible. And the only way that they can justify it is by saying, well, it's the fans. I cannot stand the fans. It's like, you can't stand that the fans think that we are objectively a good team now. So saying that we're a good team and we expect to win things should not make you lose your shit. I mean, I saw a guy on Instagram. I was laughing so hard. He was like, I mean, he went into this long thing, this long TED talk about how it's so disrespectful to teams of the past that people are talking about Arsenal winning the quad. And I was like, you wasted so
What are
much
you
time
talking about,
talking
fam?
about this. You should have, the way he like built it up and he thought he had like, I was like, it's just not that serious. It's
Engagement
just not
horse.
that deep. It's really not. I'm sorry. And most of it is the media. The media, the minute that, we got past like the halfway point, started talking about quads and asking the question because they knew people like you would get all triggered off of it. Like, who cares?
And
And
then, do you know what's mad, Jess? Yeah, it's the media and the people in the media. Don't get it twisted. Like, we've all can admit Arsenal fans do the most. It's them man doing the conversations. Like the first half of the season. We went from the first couple of games. Oh, Arteta handbrake up. They can't win it. Liverpool are doing this. City are doing that. Then there was that period. Where team. Remember that period where there was no shots on target. We're just dealing with business. They were saying nobody can catch us. Arsenal. They're still doing it now. Arsenal are the favorites in the champ.
that's where the quad talk actually stemmed
This
from
is what I
there,
mean. It's them. It's
because
mind
it
games
was
from
like,
them.
well, they're going to win the league. So now we have to move the goalpost. They need to actually
Exactly.
do more than that. So then that conversation comes up and it's like, just be serious. I would never, I don't know. I have shame. I'm not going to sit up there and talk about another team and sit there and do a TED talk on how it's disrespectful to, we talk about when young players hit the scene, the Lamine Yamals and these types, right?
Exactly.
The first thing that we start talking about is we project upon their future. What can they become? What can they achieve? And nobody says that's so disrespectful to Messi and Ronaldo that you would ask if Lamine Yamal could win a Ballon d'Or. It's, come on, like,
It
be
doesn't make
serious.
sense. It doesn't make sense as well if it's disrespectful to the teams of the past. And then by that logic, yeah, my thoughts. I think personally, this world class thing is thrown around way too much, whether that's for defenders and all of these things. So if I rate Van Dijk in the current game and say he's a good player, anyways, in today's day and age, he definitely is world class. Does that mean I'm disrespecting Tony Adams, John Terry, Rio, Sol Campbell, this one, that one? It's not making sense. It's just people can talk bullshit, and there's other people that don't like our football club, and they start doing the mind games and stuff. And I get it. Because these lot should just be honest and say, you know what, we've got bills to pay. It kind of is what it is, man. If I'm honest. And then again, the main thing is some Arsenal fans just dying for validation from other fans. Like some want to be, oh, he talks the realist. Or when people go, oh, this is why nobody wants Arsenal to win the league. Great. If you don't support my football club, like with any, why would you want another team to win the league? Obviously, it depends how you view things in your rivalry and things like that. Who cares? Stop
Yeah,
us.
sure.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make no sense to me. There was a comment, yeah. Do you sell Odegaard in the summer?
I mean, I wouldn't, but I know a lot of people are
Yeah, I
pushing
wouldn't.
it. I don't think we need to sell him. And I know I saw like something about the comment, like, how can your captain get benched? I really do think people have like, they're not actually getting that he's been injured basically the entire season.
And
So
if you ain't been cutting the mustard, you can be benched. If
yeah,
anything, what would make him be sold by that whole captain's rhetoric is they might go, right, you're on big money, the system's moving past you, Eze's found his feet, we're going with Saka in the 10. This is more logical with, oh, he's the captain, he can't be dropped, he can't be this and that. Don't get it twisted. I don't feel your captain should be getting subbed as many times as it is. And
yeah.
Odegaard needs to pattern up himself, but that's another one that just, it sounds cool. And I'm not, again, people, I'm not saying you can't say you want to sell Odegaard, but it sounds cool. When you actually break it down, it don't really make sense with
To me, I'm like, there's plenty of players in this team that probably should be moved on, and mostly because they can't stay fit. Odegaard has had his injury issues, but I don't know. I would not, but I also feel like some people feel like they can't get Eze fully into this team the way that they want to unless Odegaard doesn't exist. And I'm like, they can if he just plays good every single game.
So
I
you
don't think
can't drop
Arteta
them.
will. You have to be undroppable. So yeah, I think. And then people, Odegaard is a senior player who doesn't contribute much. He's our leading assister this season in a bad season. He has more assists than Saka. He does. He has more assists than Eze. So even in a bad season, he's our top assister. So he's not contributing much. He's been injured the entire season, basically, in and out. And I just wonder why he never gets the same, like, oh, well, he's been injured. He needs to get fit. You need to you get going again. He's like the only player that doesn't get that. He just needs to, the minute that he hits the pitch, he needs to be the best player on there, regardless of what his fitness levels and stuff are. I don't think we're going to sell him. I think a lot of people think because like these random accounts are telling you what you want to hear. They've been saying that we're going to sell Martinelli for 4 years and he's still playing for this football club. So
as well.
Yeah, I also don't think we need to sell Odegaard for us to get things that we want to. I'm so sorry, but we need a left wing really bad. We're probably going to need another DM, because I don't think Norgard is going to stay. And I also don't think Arteta rates him enough. So I think we'll get a younger DM. Like you guys said, maybe a defender. So there's plenty of other things that we could get that still allow Eze to be Eze. I don't know why it has to be one or the other. And to be quite honest, like there are going to be games where we're probably going to need somebody with his skill set, maybe not as much. And that's the thing is like sometimes, your role changes in a team and I can see his role changing, but there's plenty of players that we can sell.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be times for one thing I've said before. I don't think it's the right climate and we ain't been exposed to it. But there's games for Odegaard and Eze to play together. They've actually shown in the limited time we've seen that some good relationships. Where we're at now, obviously, if it's up to me, Odegaard, your thing right now, owing to your season, is you come off the bench and kind of help us manage the game states like you did against Leeds, like you did against Spurs, like you did against Newcastle. I do think, obviously, I would say Odegaard, I don't think he's unsellable and undroppable. And if you're looking at it from a financial point of view, if we're going to run Saka in the 10 or Dalman starts doing a madness or all them other options, Kai now sounds fit. And we say, do you know what? We got him for 30 odd million. He's on decent money. The man wants to leave them, fair enough. But he's not. I'm not going to go as far as to say he's the last person I'll get through the door, but it's a non-story. It's a non-story, and he's comfortable. Anything can happen in football. Clearly comfortable. Clearly the captain. Now, where I'm at now this season is, bro, we need to get over the line. You might have previously, in Odegaard's case, been one of the first names on the team sheet, and you might still be. But as a fan, you're not. That don't mean if you don't get half an hour, you can't do your thing. And again, if anybody's seen, we need to take our chances. And let's be brutally honest. Arteta's probably tried 5 or 6 man in that Odegaard role. Odegaard himself. Eze's gone there, Saka's gone there, Kai's been there, Marino's been there. I'm sure I'm missing something else. And we ain't seen nobody's grabbed it. Hopefully Saka can do his thing. Not Saka, sorry. Eze does his thing now, but nobody's grabbed that. So we'll just mix and blend, really. Like, you look through our team.
Yeah.
There's probably 5, 6 that you man are kind of playing every game. The back 5, if everyone's fit. Obviously, Nkapie's kind of wrestle Calafiori's spot. You're going with Rice. Some people might disagree and go with Norgard. I hear that, but realistically, it is Zubimendi. When you start and Saka, when you start looking in Odegaard's role, potentially up front, I know Gyokeres is finding his feet now, and Trossard's mainly been the guy left wing. They're the ones you're like, oh, we don't really know what's going on there, and hopefully those things cease to exist next season. I wish everyone could get the amount of equal game time. Everyone's form's great, but unfortunately, we need to get over the line. Hopefully when we get this first itch off our back next season, let's try win it playing in an attacking sense. I want Saka Ballon d'Or nominations. I want Rice this. I want Odegaard that. Right now, bro, get this thing over the line. Take your.
That's how I kind of feel, and that's why I feel like there are a lot of. I feel like we have so many. I hate to use this pun, but like bigger fish to fry. I think it's
careful, man.
There's so many conversations about who needs to go in the summer. Who do we need to sell? Who do we need to do this? What if somebody has an amazing 10 games that you didn't expect to?
Then it will change.
Yeah. So it's strange to me how we're talking about selling people when we're potentially very close to winning our first Premier League for 21 years. I think we're in a constant state of negativity because we haven't won anything. So it's like somebody has to go. Somebody has to go. And it's like, I'm going to be honest, if we win the league and we win other stuff, I'm probably going to want the majority of this team to stay outside of the people that can't stay fit. So
who is that? Well, to be fair, I'm probably reaching a bit, but off the top of my head, if I was to think about exits next season, provided, ideal world, we win the league, we've seen with Liverpool. Now there's a reality. We sign Bearman, we keep doing our thing, but you do need to gel. And when you're at the top, You can't be complacent and just keep man that you don't feel are good enough, but because we've won, you need to freshen up stuff. But Gabriel Jesus off the bat, I think you're cutting regardless of if we win, lose, or draw. Depending on Trossard's form, it's a weird one because you might keep him for the squad. But if his form was to be what it was earlier, you might not have a better opportunity to sell him. You could extend that to Martinelli. I don't quite believe that in Martinelli's case.
People that
With
are not
Odegaard and Kai, I don't think they're
anymore.
gone. It might be a finance thing, but that's Jesus is the only one I'm like, yeah, you're probably gone. I agree with you in that, and I'll do you one better as well. I think Norgard, he probably loves Arsenal in that, but I think he reckons I could go play football. I actually think that with Kepa, so I do think we'll go for another goalie because them man can go be number ones, and if you win a Prem here, you're gonna say, all right, cool, it was great here, innit, really and truly.
Yeah, I think you need to look at like the injury records of some of these players. Like, yeah, it's
it's common sense if I'm honest with
you.
And
I think we don't need to sell certain players to be able to buy. I think we've seen that. We'll sell a couple of players like maybe Trossard, maybe Martinelli. I don't know. Jesus for sure.
Every player's got a price,
and maybe Ben too.
5-6 unsellable.
Yeah, but I would say that like, especially when I look on Twitter, there are some of the worst like sources that I've ever seen, but they basically tell Arsenal fans what they're talking about. So if we started up an agenda about Martinelli, they would literally say that Martinelli's gone in the summer. Nobody reliable has said any of that, but I would be very surprised if Odegaard left this summer. I'll be really honest. I would be very, very surprised.
I'd be surprised. Every player's got a price, and there is certain offers I would entertain with Odegaard. You got him for 30 mil, all of that stuff. The only unsellables for me on paper at this moment in time, indirectly David Raya, because for me, you need to go and buy one of the top goalies. Don't know who that is or where we do that. The two centre halves, Bukayo Saka. Obviously, you can start Timber. I don't know if I've said Declan Rice, but Declan Rice, other than that, there's some players I want to keep, but certain offers for Kai I might entertain. Certain offers for Odegaard I might entertain. Certain offers for Martinelli and Trossard, valued squad players. And I think we need to hold on to a couple of these names I might entertain. But like you said, people go online, it just becomes an echo chamber, it just becomes a mad echo chamber. I've got two last questions for you. JT has a question for you. Do you guys think we do invite low blocks on ourselves with the slow build-up play? And do you think our structure invites long shots that Raya isn't too great at? Good question, to be fair.
Yeah, I do think to a certain extent. I think the positive way of thinking about it is that we're so good that people feel like they need to low block us.
They're gonna low block anyways, innit? But if we move the ball quicker,
if we had a way to unsettle these deep blocks, then teams would just come to the Emirates and just try to play their game, because either way, they know they're going to be in trouble. So I think as long as people know that they can get a draw against us if they do the low block, then they will. There was, in the 22-23 season, the back end of that season, all we faced was low blocks. I feel like people are disingenuous about that season. They feel like they only started in 23-24. It didn't. It started at the back end when people realized we were good. I remember we played Everton at home. And the block that they put up was disgusting. We beat them 4-0. We whooped their ass. Like, we scored like immediely.
And it's changed. But we used to see solid teams under Wenger. Why would you want a team that can pop you up? You're not going to give them space, are you? You know what makes it.
Yeah, we pass the ball around slow, and it helps them a lot. Like, it helps them because they don't have to shift as much. So if we just actually pass the ball quicker, like you said, and finished our chances when we get them, those first couple, and didn't choke them, then it would force teams to have to throw that plan out. But right now it's the main way to score. Now, in terms of Raya, the long shots, I don't know if we're facing a lot of long shots. I really don't know if we're facing.
And that's just jarring. We can see either a lapse in concentration or a weldy. So there probably is something to look at. But for me, like, all I can say is just move the ball quicker. Obviously they're gonna be in a shell because we want to suffocate you in your own half. We want to kill you, but that's where I think as Arsenal players and Arsenal fans, we get into this. Our eyes are showing us the games. We're dominating the game. It's all in their half. They can't get out. We've got possession, but that's where you need to kill games. Like, it is a bit weird that I'd hate to be that guy, just but low XG chances are going in. But fundamentally, life is going to keep repeating itself, and you're going to see the same things. Like, and I feel that's where we're doing. I feel like the whole theme of this live stream of us has been patterns in it. None of the good, the bad, the uglies, anything we've discovered today, yesterday, maybe even this season, man.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just, those long shots, especially the couple that we've conceded on recently, I think is making people think that we're just facing all these long shots. But those long shots don't happen if those players are not wide open. The one against Wolves, we just let them have all the possession right there. And he was like, oh shit, they're not up against, they're not doing anything. Against Bournemouth, it was the exact same thing. All of a sudden, Krupi or whatever his name was had like acres of space. So and I think our defensive principles over the last couple of months have dropped off significantly, where we would never allow those shots because everybody would be working their ass off to block it and but we've lost our discipline. And so I don't know if they're taking more shots because they know that is they looking up and not seeing anybody blocking them. So what else are you going to do? You're going to take a shot. It's like Bermie is saying, we switch off. We've not put together a full 90 of top like professional performance in a long time. Definitely not consistently.
No one can bring up 5 this season, generally.
Not 5, definitely not, and not like 5 in a row either. In 22,
don't tell me about Forest, Leeds, and Burnley and that. Pick them up, but we're being serious.
Yeah, we put together 5 performances in a row where we won, but they were also professional. I haven't seen that at all this season. Probably Leeds away and Sunderland at home was the most it felt like it, and then we just turned around and fell apart again. So yeah, and it is kind of like boxing. Arteta doesn't want to get any he doesn't want to take any blows, none whatsoever.
Sometimes we don't go for the knockout.
None. So exactly. So he's constantly dodging instead of throwing punches himself, and then we get knocked out because we lose our focus. Like, we need to attack more. He needs to find the balance, and I know it's hard to find, especially when we're under pressure. We're not going to be able to do everything that we did against Spurs, but we definitely can't go back to what we were doing against like Nottingham Forest.
Many a times this season.
Yeah, for sure. We need
my last question for you, Jess, as well. Oh, sorry, that ain't the question. Where is it? Big up Caps, but where is it? Okay, I don't know why it delayed there. What do you think of the constant PR interviews? Why can't they get other men to do interviews instead of fan favorites like Rice, Eze, Russo?
I mean, I don't know. We've always had those PR interviews. We're just in a bad place. Like, I feel like I don't think they're more than ever. I think we notice them more when we're not in a good place. We've always had these. I don't feel like anything has really changed. I feel like the one that Declan Rice did, that was going to happen whether we beat Wolves or not, because we were playing a North London derby. And I think how it works in media is somebody like Sky Sports will say, hey, we're going to do an interview. Who do you want to talk
in this
interview? And of course, they're not going to choose Odegaard because Odegaard wasn't going to really be starting in the North London derby.
Even him, he gets pushed into it. Plenty of these ballers get pushed into interviews. Like, I hear it, like Rice and them, man, they're doing what they're doing. A part of that is that's who people want to hear from. People say, obviously, think about if you're Arsenal, like, and what just said there about Odegaard. Oh, people like Rice, they think he should be captain. Rice talks the talk and walks the walk. Go out there and do it. He knows how to speak. You're not gonna throw a young Max Dowman out there, even though I've seen Raya have an interview. I've seen Eze. Fair enough, it's not on Sky Sports, but you've seen them. You've seen Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes.
They've all done them before. I feel like the timing feels weird because it was right after the Wolves thing, so it felt like a lot, but they were always going to do that for a North London derby. Of course, we always do those for North London derbies. There's always extra interviews. So it was just a lot, but I don't know. Is it like, I'm seeing it's like Arteta favoritism? Like, is it because do you not like all these players? Like, I don't know. Is it favoritism? Rice, is he a favorite? Like, does he not deserve to be a favorite as well? Like,
who's going to chat?
Yeah, I think people do too much with the favoritism, and I'll say it like no manager doesn't have favorites. It's just the favorites that Arteta has, you guys don't like. It's just, I don't know, and you guys will start to dislike other players too if we're not doing well And like, let's say, this is what I was saying about Saka, is if Odegaard's not playing, then it's going to become someone else when we're not playing well. And then they'll be a favorite because they're continuing to play. Every manager has favorites. Every manager, you know who one of Pep's favorites is? Bernardo Silva.
Every person has favorites. It's like being in school. If me and Jess are in the same class and, you know, we're both smart and, well, she's the mad smart one in the class, I'm a bit of an idiot and whatnot, she might get in trouble. She might do something that's trouble worthy. She might not get kicked out of school or she might not get kicked out of lesson. I might. Unfortunately, if life was fair, we'd all have a lot less. That's just the reality of it. Like, and I don't know what Arteta's not in charge of interviews. Of course, they're asking him, but that's more for the comms and the media team and who is comfortable to speak. And this, you know, Rice is a man, you can put him in anywhere, innit? Like, you can put him in any kind of media stuff. Certain man, you might need to be a bit more formal, Sky Sportsy. Others, you might be able to put you in other places. Like, we had what Gabriel Jesus talks, Gyokeres talks. We had Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus come out and talk before. Exactly. I've seen that, you know. So I've seen Saliba talk. I just think it just plays into our own narratives when we see certain people come out and other people don't. When it's just as simple as they said somebody needs to come out, and then there's who wants to go, and then the Rice, I'll go, fuck it, you know. And we also don't know what they're doing. Some people are getting treatment. You don't know what's actually going on back there. So, yeah.
I do want to hear generally from Odegaard a bit more, just not because of these lot, like, oh, he's our captain and all of that stuff. I just want to genuinely hear from Odegaard, didn't it? Because you've been on this road, didn't it? I just genuinely want to hear from you a bit more. Eze does the interviews, but it seems at this moment in time, it's a bit more relaxed. It's a bit more, oh, yeah, what do you make of signing for Arsenal? Timber does plenty of interviews, but it is what it is. And if we're honest with ourselves, obviously, after the North London derby, we'll all listen to what Rice has got to say. When we lost to Wolves, nobody gave a flying monkeys about Mikel Arteta's press conference, any of the players. So, and a lot of these things are pre-recorded. Now, obviously, if it's pre-recorded in the build-up to the North London derby, we lose, it comes across as tone deaf. This is where the media houses are laughing because it's bare engagement. And a lot of the comments some of you have said here, you're going to obviously leave them comments either in their YouTube section or their blog pages or whatnot. And I'll be real, man. Like, bro, we need to win the league, innit? My problem is on the field. As long as you lot know how to conduct yourself off it and the talk is matching the walk, don't give a flying monkeys.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. Like,
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Who do you guys want to hear from? Mascara? I don't know.
He probably ain't even comfortable like that.
I've seen like this is probably the least we've heard from Odegaard. But it's not like we haven't lost leagues before or been in bad moments before, and he's been talking. So
and people tell him to shut up. Why are you talking in the lineup?
I mean, he has the moments that Rice is getting now, where you know he says something in a press conference or in a conference, and then he doesn't have a good game. So I think it's weird that I feel like it's confirmation bias. You know, if you're not. Yeah, I don't get it, you know, because I'm not looking at it like that, like, oh, he didn't come out for the whatever, the interview. So that means that he's da-da-da-da. I feel like we need to poke through things because we haven't won a trophy. That's kind of where I want to win something so we can stop having these menial conversations, because it feels like a little bit like, okay, guys, do you guys really care that much who talks in the little thing? Like, who cares?
You want to win shit now? Like I'm at that point. Like, if anything, I want to hear from the young players. Wanyeri, Dalman, Miles Lewis, Skelly.
And also, this is also what I wanted to say too, is not to cut you, but
and do you think
Rice said the exact same thing that Odegaard's been saying the last couple seasons? If you can't win, don't lose. We're going to keep going. We're going to get better.
Well, it's not the message; it's the message.
And Rice said the exact same thing. Are you guys not? It's not clocking to you yet that that's the company line. Regardless of who's nobody's saying anything differently, you know. So saying like, oh, his interviews and captain's notes make me mad. Well, what do you think Rice's captain's notes and stuff will be? You think he's going to say anything different? He literally sat up there and said the exact same thing. If you can't win, don't lose. We're going to do better. We need to come together and be a team and all this kind of stuff. Like,
and then also like you're one of the best people to talk to because you're an American. Like, let's be honest. There's Britain, you can't really say what you want to say. I don't know how it works in football, like our football in America, but it does seem like in society, in basketball, in all you lot sports, if it's shit, you lot can say it's shit or this one's crap and I don't like this. you've got to be very diplomatic on like traditional British stations. And I even think the players feel like that because, if I'm honest or if I say something or I don't speak in PR, you're going to clip me up and soundbite me. If anything, I would rather, as a footballer, say I'm boring, say I'm saying the generic stuff. Even Gyokeres got sent out after the North London derby, and he literally said he literally said something along the lines of, it's one game at a time, all that boring stuff. Yeah, he actually said, and all that boring stuff. So, like, I hear it. Yeah. But nobody cares, really. Like, if we win, it gasses you. You're excited. If we lose, then man are talking.
But I don't sit there and look for the players to validate my agendas and narratives after games. Like, I just don't, because I'm not saying that like I just know, but everything is kind of pre-planned, and you're only going to say certain things. You're not going to throw your players, your fellow teammates under the bus. You're not going to say what social media is saying. If you've seen Odegaard and Rice say the exact same things after we've had bad games, I think you can put to rest the importance of these conversations. Like Arteta, he was asked a question about why he does not play Norgard more, and he gave the most bland and vague answer you could possibly get. All we should think about is how people are applying themselves on the pitch. That's going to tell us everything we need to know. So we can, if whoever it is, whether it's Odegaard or Rice or whoever, if they're not applying themselves on the pitch, that's where we should get on to them. But people that really sit there and think about the interviews and think that Rice is going to say, well, Raya should have got that shot. It shouldn't have went in because Raya, he's not going to validate Twitter narratives, guys.
It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. So people, in conclusion of this live stream, just focus about on the pitch. 10 games left.
That's really all it is.
What needs to be done, man. Jess, you got any content to come out? Let people know where they can find you. Even though her YouTube channel, once again, for the 55th time in the hour and a half we've been here, is in the title. Make sure you're subscribing. And the dog probably wants to go on a walk in a bit.
They're fighting each other. That's what you guys want. You guys want your two people fighting against each other to make you guys feel like they care and they're passionate about it. Like,
exactly.
But yeah, you guys can find me at Jessica Black YT. The next time you guys will see me is after the Chelsea game. Next couple days,
we've got 3 points, hopefully.
Yeah, MIA, but then I'll be back for that. And yeah, are you doing a watch along? Or are you going to be at Talksport or what?
I'm probably going to do a watch along, man. It's been a minute, man. I kind of miss just watching Arsenal in the comfort of my own home, man. Like I said, I'm probably too nervous for the Chelsea game, and I want to state again, people, it's completely illogical nerves. Of course, if I do the homework, there's plenty of things we need to be wary of from Chelsea. There's more positives with us, but it's complete illogical stuff. Like Spurs, you couldn't convince me we wasn't going to win in it, and I would have held my hands up if egg on my face, like what happened against Man United. Chelsea, I'm nervy, man, but we need the 3 points. We've given ourselves no margin for error. I hope, if you are confident for Chelsea, you can sit there and say, I told you so, DG, you must really be deluded, but we've got a couple of days in it. So, yeah, man, it's nice to win the North London derby. We keep it moving, man. Jess, as usual, Thursdays are a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be with a balanced Arsenal fan. Go and enjoy your afternoon in America, it must be.
Yeah, well, it's late morning, so but
literally late morning. With us, it's 6 p.m. People, big up you lot. Go subscribe to Jess, and yeah, you heard her. She's gonna do a reaction after the Chelsea game. There's probably some content you've missed, so go have a butchers over there. Chat, you lot are the MVPs. Jess, one love.
Bye, guys.
It's a wrap. Peace. If you didn't hit the like button, unexpected high bills. If you've hit the like button, I hope you win the lottery.